the Detroit Pistons select Ron Holland II from Dallas, Texas.
Bobby Klintman from Malmo, Sweden, and Australia's Cairns Taipans of the NBL.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all?
After watching the Celtics hoist another championship trophy and seeing the Thunder get Alex Caruso for free, I was fed up with basketball. But the Pistons were able to revive me with all this recent news. First, they sent Monty Williams to the Shadow Realm. Tom Gorsuch said time and again he'll spend money to make the Pistons better, so he had no problem bringing in Monty, and then he had no problem getting rid of him. After that, the Pistons went on a search, and mostly Dwayne Casey's former assistants were in the running. Then out of nowhere, JB Bickerstaff swooped in and got the job. Per Woj, the Detroit Pistons have hired JB Bickerstaff as their next head coach, and his deal is for 5 years. JB took a young Cavs team and made them winners. Under Bickerstaff, both Jared Allen and Darius Garland became all-stars, so he has a nice resume. After the last few years, I've learned to, not get excited about coaching hires anymore, but I am optimistic that the squad can improve under JB. The second great news we got is even better than the first. Per Evan Sidiri, the Detroit Pistons plan to renounce their bird rights on James Wiseman, making him an unrestricted free agent.
And he's no longer here anymore. He's history. He's gone. You'll never see him again.
I haven't hated a trade this much since Chauncey for Allen Iverson, but it's looking like we'll finally have a new backup center next season. The Pistons also renounced their bird rights on Evan Fournier, Malachi Flynn, Stanley Amude, and Chimezie Metu. Then after that, they waived Troy Brown Jr. All those moves leave us with a ton of cap space and more roster spots. Speaking of cap space, despite getting a new front office, the Toby rumors only got louder. Per Woj, the Detroit Pistons have signed Tobias Harris to a 2-year deal. He'll act as our version of Dillon Brooks and Fred VanVleet. It will most likely take Vincent a few years to turn some of these guys into shooters, so Tobias will run with the team for 2 years, then whichever player improves from downtown will step into his spot. As for Simone Fontecchio, it's unknown if the Pistons will try to retain him, but we can match any offer he gets. If we're able to keep Tech and bring in Tobias, I think that's enough spacing so that Cade doesn't get triple teamed every time down the floor. This weekend, the Pistons are set to lock in their future. Per James Edwards, the Detroit Pistons plan to sign Cade Cunningham to a 5-year max extension. After putting up all-star numbers over 3 years, at times even on one leg, this was an easy decision. Cade is now locked in for the future, and we just need to build around him. Every move made this summer has put us on that path. Moving on to the NBA draft, where the Detroit Pistons shocked the world and took Ron Holland with the 5th pick. He's a forward with elite defense and a high motor. Combine those two and you have a one-man fast break.
Shot clock. Holland stays right in front and he picks his pocket. Here comes Ignite. 2-on-1.
Holland is from Texas and he practiced with Cade when they were in high school, meaning we've got a guy who's already cool with the franchise player. With concerns about spacing, the Pistons decided to move up in the draft on day 2. They traded the 53rd pick for Minnesota's 37th pick in Wendell Moore. With that pick, they selected Bobby Klintman, who's a 6'9", 3-and-D forward. He shot 35% from distance over in Australia. Bobby also had some battles with Alex Sarr, so that's why he was on a lot of people's radar. For Langdon's first draft, I feel this was solid. We got a player with high upside in Ron Holland. Then we have Bobby Klintman, who fits perfectly on this roster. Per Woj, the Detroit Pistons are signing Danish Jenkins to a 2-way deal. Jenkins is a 6'4" point guard who's a sniper from downtown. On top of that, he's a good playmaker. He averaged about 5 assists. Once again, we're adding as much shooting as possible. The Pistons still have 2 more 2-way spots to fill, so I'm hoping a forward and a center get added next. Per Woj, the Detroit Pistons are trading Quentin Grimes to Dallas for Tim Hardaway Jr. and 3 second-round picks. This is a great trade for us. The Pistons really don't have any assets. Now we do with just one trade. Langdon made it clear during his press conference that the Pistons were going to take on more salary to get draft capital, and as we see, he just did that with this move. On top of that, Tim Hardaway Jr. is a great locker room guy who can space the floor. He also went to the U of M, and from his Instagram we can see he was hyped to be back in Michigan. During last summer, MC and JD put the hurt on the USA national team. It's looking like Duran is looking to do that again against Team USA. The Pistons center was selected to be on the practice squad, so he'll be going up against Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid. Not only that, he'll be hanging around all-stars like LeBron, KD, and Steph. The last topic I want to discuss was Summer League. We'll get to see Holland, Klitman, and Jenkins all in action very soon. First game is scheduled to be on July 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. The Pistons will take on Philly in that game. Then after that, they face off against Houston, Chicago, and the Knicks. The big matchups here will be Houston and Chicago. Both of those games will be on NBA TV. I'm interested in the Rockets game because they have Reed Shepherd. I want to see just how good he's going to be in the league. While the Bulls have Mattis Buzelis, so former teammates Holland and Buzelis will battle it out on the summer stage. That should be a lot of fun, especially since we have Klitman and Jenkins spacing the floor. Holland should put up like crazy numbers since he'll be able to get to the basket whenever he wants. And that was this video. The Pistons are trying to get as much draft capital as possible. That 2025 draft is going to be filled with talent, so expect the Pistons to continue to be aggressive in the trade market. Alright guys, if you think the new front office is off to a good start, hit that like button and subscribe to see more Pistons content. That's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.